Maybe I'll keep the glasses on today. Oh, weird reflection from the window in the glasses. Let's just take them off like always, shall we? Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I wanted to address something that I get asked on a relatively frequent basis. Now, next to advice on podcasting in general, the main question that I get asked when it comes to podcasting is, how do you deal with negativity online? Now, we are lucky enough to live in an age with the internet and with internet-based applications, and I think that that is a great thing in so many ways. We can share more than we've ever been able to share, we can see more than we've ever been able to see, but on the other side of that, we can share more than we've ever been able to share and see more than we've ever been able to see. It's kind of a double-edged sword. With the opportunity to be able to give so much more to each other, we open the door to everything that you say and do online is under scrutiny by people that you know, or sometimes people that you don't know. And that basically means that trolling has become something that is commonplace and in some ways acceptable more than it ever has before. Now, I get asked quite frequently, mostly by people who are wanting to start their own podcast or blog or something like that, how you deal with trolls and the haters from the online world. Because in a lot of ways that can prevent people from actively wanting to share online because they're scared of what might come back to them. I have had my fair share of negativity thrown at me via the internet. This definitely got more so when I started this channel and started sharing more aspects of my personal life. It happens, it is a sad reality of the online world that we get this kind of nastiness thrown about, and it can be quite horrible, I'm not gonna lie. I've been told I'm too fat, I have bad teeth, I have bad hair, I look really slutty, I look really conservative. I once had someone really unhappy that I was sharing Harry Potter on the podcast because they didn't think that that was okay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you keep talking about pop figures, that's just so juvenile. Since I became a vegetarian, a lot of people have felt the need to air their views as to why they think that's a bad idea. Thanks. And we really shouldn't even mention that dress that I shared because whew, that's just a whole can of worms that I do not want to have to go through ever again. I've had interactions from people who are just out and out horrible, you know, oh, you're so ugly, oh, you're so stupid. But I've also come into contact with what I like to call the nice trolls. And the nice trolls, using inverted commas, they think that they're nice because they always start their comments with, oh, I love you so much, I think you're so amazing, but. And the but is the operative word in this circumstance because a lot of people think if they start a comment and end a comment with a compliment, then whatever they say in the middle can just, you know, they can say whatever they want. I really love your podcast, but I wish that you would just stop talking as much and just share your knitting. That's what I've come here for. I've come here from the knitting, not to listen to you talk all the time. I just couldn't live with myself if I didn't tell you that you just look bad in that outfit. If you're telling someone that they need to dress differently, look differently, have a different way of life just because you think that the way that they are behaving is not within your narrow perception of what the world should be like, it doesn't matter how nicely you put that, you're still a bit of a troll. And you can tell, I get a bit agitated when I talk about this because I just think it's boring, it's stupid, and it's unnecessary because the internet is such a huge expanse that you really should find something that you actually enjoy watching rather than picking at things that you don't. Just move on. It's not that difficult. Something that a lot of people have said to me when I've started sharing the kind of negativity that has come at me on the internet is, oh, you should feel really sorry for these trolls because, oh, they must have lived such a terrible life or something really bad must have happened to them in order for them to behave this way. And although I get that, I'm sorry, but no, I don't share that perspective. I don't feel sorry for them. There are plenty of people who've had terrible lives who don't respond by making other people feel unhappy or uncomfortable, and to be perfectly honest, I feel nothing for them. I just try and avoid them as much as possible. Don't waste your emotions in feeling sorry for people who don't deserve your emotions to be wasted on them. All of that to one side, I do have a couple of tips that I use in terms of dealing with negativity on the internet. My first top tip, and to be honest, this is pretty much the golden rule when it comes to this type of thing: don't engage. And I know, it's difficult. When someone says something nasty to you, it feels like you have to say something back, or in some way you are the lesser person. There really is no reasoning with these type of people. There have been occasions where I have engaged with individuals online, where I've fed to the trolls, as it were, and every single time I've realised that it was a horrible mistake and I really shouldn't have done it. It didn't make me feel better, and if anything, I just fed into that negative energy of that person and gave them the attention that they wanted, and it just wasn't worth it. The best thing that you can do is just completely ignore it and focus on the positive, because in my experience, the positive comments have always outweighed the negative. You have certain tools to protect yourself when it comes to social media and comments and that type of thing. You can mute people, you can block people, you can delete comments, and it is totally reasonable for you to do any of those things. The most important thing is that you and the lovely people who want to engage with you all feel safe and happy, and know that you're not going to get unnecessary hatred thrown at you from stupid people. The one thing that I cannot stand is when people are rude to other viewers in my comment section. If that ever happens, I will just get rid of you, no questions asked, because you can really say what you want to me and I know that I can deal with it, but nobody's coming at my viewers with that kind of stuff. No. You guys are amazing, and nobody gets to make you feel like you are not amazing. Kind of coming out of that is my second point, which is to set your own boundaries. One of the things that I think people are very scared about when it comes to creating content online, be it a written post or a video in this kind of format, is that they're worried that people are going to give judgment that they can't handle. And one of the best ways to try and deal with that before it even happens is only ever share what you feel comfortable sharing. I do keep a lot back than what I share on the camera. I may look like a completely open book, but believe me, there's only certain chapters that have been opened and viewed, and I'm taking this metaphor a little bit too hard, but you get what I mean. As long as you feel comfortable sharing what you're sharing, and you know that you've got something back and you've kept something in reserve for yourself, then you're going to be absolutely fine, because no matter what anybody says, it's not really going to hit that part of you that is the most special and is the most personal. My third and final tip, I do think, is probably the one that has helped me the most in my journey through YouTube and social media, and that is find yourself a support network. I think sometimes when we bury ourselves in online content and spend a lot of time on Facebook, on Instagram, watching videos on YouTube, we can forget that the world is much bigger than what we see on our little screens. And for me, one of the best things that has helped when I have had particular times in my life when, the hatred has been strong and it's been coming at me from what feels like every possible angle, it's helped to have people that I can talk to about it who really understand. Now, obviously, I have my mum, I have my incredible husband, but I also have a lot of other friends in the podcasting community. You know who you are, and I'm looking at you right now. It's helpful not just to have someone who cares about you to talk to about these things, but someone who understands where you're coming from. So other people within the podcasting community have been a very, very big crutch to me in my darker points, because they just get it. And the likelihood is they've experienced something similar themselves, so you can all just, compare crazy and laugh at who has the biggest extreme, I guess. Sometimes in these instances, all you can do is take a step back and laugh. Doesn't make it any easier when it's happening, but it does do you good to laugh at it. To close up, if you do have any concerns about creating content to share online, the one thing that I want to kind of stress the most is The positive will always outweigh the negative. The bigger the podcast gets, the more people that I see and the more people that I reach with this content. Naturally, I tend to get more negativity, but along with it, I get huge amounts of positivity and love. And that's the thing that I would say has had the most impact on my life. That tiny little niggling, nasty, small, tiny percent of blah is never ever going to be comparable to the amount of love that is coming my way from this podcast. Please don't let fear of what a few silly, obnoxious people might try and say to you ever stop you from being creative. They're not worth it. And if you let your behavior be affected by that tiny percentage, then the only person that you are letting win is that horrible little troll. Thank you so much for watching again, you guys. I will be back with another video tomorrow. I hope you all have a great day. I love you all. Love you, bye.